How you doing, Sandesh here? I'm going to be reading from the expose, and it's about how the decades-long climate change plan is pretty much about stripping away your personal freedom, um, wealth, and property. I'm going to get into the article now. Um, the Rockefeller family and the Trilateral Commission have been orchestrating a sinister plan under the guise of climate change. This scheme raises serious threats to individual freedom, personal wealth, and property rights. What's really at stake in this agenda and how it might impact our way of life? And Jesse Smith dives into the implications and it uncovers the truth behind the headlines. Um, as um, the Rockefeller Coterie conspire to reshape the world and gain greater control of its wealth, resources, and people under the guise of saving the planet. Their challenge involved getting the populace to support the destruction of free market and capitalism, nationalism, democratic principles without noticing the end goal, the establishment of a global dictatorship ruled by public private partnerships. The method of choice to undo the global order was none other than environmentalism. Their brand of environmentalism differed greatly from the grassroots movement spawned by indigenous and disenfranchised people who campaigned against the poisoning of air, water, and land. With good intentions, these activists stood against nuclear fallout, harmful pesticides, pollution, and destruction of natural habitats perpetrated by megacorporations in the energy, transportation, and defense and manufacturing industries. To crush a grassroots effort directed against industry titans, which accelerated after the 1970 Earth Day event in the US, Rockefeller influenced environmentalists stealthily shifted the blame for catastrophic ecological damage onto each individual. They first sounded the alarm that an ice age was soon to overtake the Earth. I'll remember that. Yeah, I'll remember that talk. And later they claimed that modern inconveniences like vehicle ownership and cheap energy powered by so-called fossil fuels contributed to dangerous increases in the Earth's temperature. I think Nikola Tesla. I read something on Facebook. Now Nikola Tesla. I think back in the day, um, he he went to his bosses and he came up with a solution that could give away free energy, free electricity, and it was proven to be true and it was proven to work. And they pretty much shut him down because obviously what they wanted to make money and they wanted to charge people for using electricity. Um anyway, over the past 50 years, they've cleverly induced both individual and collective guilt, leading to attempts to dial back gains achieved through industrialization and technological advancement. Rockefeller captured institutions and governments agreed on a plan to march the world toward um, technocracy by undoing the man made evils triggering global warming through a novel concept called sustainable development. The Sustainability Initiative was born in conspiracy and continues through an endless series of research, conferences, books, speeches, reports, propaganda, agreements, treaties, legislation, and collusion within the public private sphere. While it is true that the literal term sustainable development was not coined by the original technocrats, most will be jealous that someone else beat them to it. The fact of the matter is that sustainable development is conceptually identical to technocracy's balanced load. Um, King King Huber was an original member of Technocracy Inc. and a major contributor to the Technocracy study course discussed in Part 2. Huber believed in peak oil theory and thought that Earth's resources and energy were infinite, and if exhausted or destroyed, man would cease to exist. Growth, 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 that's all we've known. Automobile production is doubling every 10 years. Human population, human popular, population growth is like nothing that has happened in all of geologic history. The world will only tolerate so many doublings of anything, whenever it's power plants or grasshoppers. His theories will later lead to demands to transition the world to a new, greener economy based on sustainability principles. Whenever acknowledged or not, the counterfeit green movement adopted Hubert's ideas and called for restructuring of the global economy, altering the functions of industry and individual corporations to fit this new economic um, paradigm. Seemingly out of nowhere, the Rockefeller financed shift to a greener economy was sold to environmental organizations like Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, and society as a whole under the guise of saving the planet, preserving wildlife, creating a more just world. However, while the intrusive facade is removed, it amounts to a technocratic takeover facilitated facilitated through a gargantuan civil society network operating within local, state, and national governments to upend democratic pillars. The Green Scheme was designed to strip away an individual freedom, wealth, property, and resources. In short, the purpose of climate agenda policies was to shift the world to a more controlled and directed society. And by 2009, calls for a green economy rooted in technocratic concepts began to uh, uh, permeate the universal political landscape. In 2011, the UN Environmental Programme pushed the concept further, stating in its simplest expression, a green economy is low carbon, resource efficient, and social inclusive. In a green economy, growth in income and employment are driven by public and private investments that reduce carbon emissions, pollution, enhance energy and resource efficiency. Um, the Rockefeller foray into environmentalism was a multi pronged attack aimed at subverting the goals of environmentalists working wanted to protect the planet from being dumping grounds for disease-causing toxic waste. Largely unbeknownst to the public, they poured millions of dollars into research, opinion, and, and policy shaping and education. From this flurry of activity, a new ideology was born, proclaiming that mankind itself, through mere existence, was responsible for planetary degradation, not greedy, irresponsible, and corrupt politicians. I'm going to stop right there because I think you pretty much get the point about how climate change was nothing. It was pretty much created by Rockefeller, but also the biggest banks in the world. Because the thing is, let's be honest. The banks in the world are the ones that create the wars, and they pretty much create the problems that we have now. And and it's pretty much trying. And have you noticed that? And have you noticed that with the Oscars, they all or someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is always saying that, oh, we need to be more, we need to we need to take climate change a lot more serious. You notice that because it's always the rich that is always lecturing normal people like us about how we need to be more, um, how we need to take climate change a lot more seriously. When the thing is, climate change was made just to take away people's rights and their wealth. I mean, look what happened. I mean, look what happened with the major fire that happened in LA and Maui. All those people lost their businesses and their houses, and they're not going to be able to get their homes back. So there you go. That tells you everything. And I'm sure there's other instances as well. But anyway, I'm gonna stop from there. Let me know in the comments of what you think about this. Do you believe in climate change, or do you believe that it's nothing but a farce, like I believe? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.